Good.
Yeah, it's Terry Burton, refrigerator, here with Jose Canseco. Thanks for sitting down with us today, Mr. Canseco.
Great.
I want to talk to you about a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. First thing I want to ask is, thanks for sitting down with us. Why do you want to do this fight with HERSCHEL Walker? What is your main motivation for this fight?
Well, I'm finally going to be healthy to do a fight, number one. I think people have seen I've fought 3 celebrity fights, which those are not what they really seem to be. They're more or less kind of set up in a certain way. And obviously fought Hungman Choi with a really bad knee, with really short notice, with no training whatsoever. You know, man, 7'2", 360 pounds. You don't want to go in there unprepared. So I really couldn't show the world what I could actually do. I do have an extensive background in martial arts, so I really, wanted to make sure that the next opponent I fought, I was well trained and completely healthy. And definitely behind, if I can get the Gracie family behind me to train me for 2 or 3 months, it'll be an incredible fight. Plus, I mean, you got HERSCHEL Walker, who's an ex-baseball player, an ex-football player. I'm the ex-baseball player. We're about the same age. I'm a little bit heavier than he is. And I think it'll be an exciting, entertaining fight. We're both elite athletes, and especially in our sports 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Right. You mentioned that you have an extensive background in martial arts. Could you explain for us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, I've been doing martial arts for about 20 years now. And obviously started when I was a whole lot younger. But I've never been able to actually fight under the martial arts technique completely healthy. I think the fight you saw with Hungman Choi, threw some punches, a few kicks. My knee was, before the fight, I had a torn calf, a torn quad muscle. Actually, I had a brace on, which it made me take off right before the fight. I wasn't really supposed to fight in that fight, but I decided to go out there and do it. Which is crazy because a man of that size can really hurt you. So you have to be very, 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 very careful. Been doing Taekwondo, Muay Thai, and kickboxing for a very long time, and enjoy doing it. I'm an elite athlete, and I love the competition. I love the adrenaline flow, and what better way to actually get that kind of adrenaline flow going in there and fighting.
I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the Hungman Choi fight. A lot of the fanboys on the internet or these people on blogs, they bring that up like, oh, the first round Hungman Choi. But what people don't realize is Hungman Choi is no joke. Fedor Emelianenko, who is, in many people's books, the pound-for-pound greatest fighter in MMA history, possibly. If you watch his fight with Hungman Choi, he had a lot of problems with him until he got that armbar.
Right.
And, like you said, you didn't train for that fight. You went in there without any training against the man who gave, one of the best fighters ever a run for his money in the first round.
Yeah, people don't seem to realize that. I mean, I'm 6'4", 250 pounds. He made me look like a little kid. That's a massive man. I'm 45 years old, and with no training, with a bad knee, completely. I mean, I think I've got some pictures where I actually hit him with a front kick and with a roundhouse. I mean, I hit this guy really good. Any guy my size, 250 pounds, at 260, 270, would have gone down. Even the first combination, the first punch I hit him with, I actually hit him in the jaw, and he took it like nothing. And people have to understand that that's just one massive individual. I don't think there's been too many people that have knocked him out or have taken him down. You have to be, I think, the best MMA fighter in the world. And I want to see individuals get in the ring with him. I guarantee you they will shit their pants.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal is training in Miami. I'm not sure which camp he trains with, but I do know that he said he would like to have one MMA fight. And they said, oh, who would you like to fight? And he said, only someone my size, Hungman Choi.
Well, first of all, I think Shaquille should fight me first, because you would have to get through me to go to Hungman Choi, because I don't see Shaquille O'Neal even beating Hungman Choi. Shaquille has no fighting experience whatsoever, no boxing, no jiu-jitsu, zero. So I would definitely like to get in the ring with Shaquille and see, what happens there. I mean, if Shaquille can't take me down at all or can't beat me, don't go into a Hungman Choi. You have no idea what to mess with. I mean, this man almost knocked me out with a jab.
Wow, that's amazing. The other thing is people bring up the Danny Bonaducci fight, like he's a Gary Coleman or something. Danny Bonaducci trained in boxing. I mean, he's a trained athlete as well. So I think you're really getting a raw deal from these fanboys out there.
Well, people have to understand, the only reason Bonaducci took the fight is we were under the circumstances that I would not hit him hard. I mean, people have to understand this. Before the fight, we were actually practicing, him and I in the room, and I said, Danny, hit me as hard as you want. Go ahead, try. He came after me, hit me as hard as he could, and he didn't even faze me. So we tried to orchestrate a fight to where he could hit me as hard as he could. I could barely hit him and jab at him. As a matter of fact, if you see one round, I think it was the third round, I actually hit him with a left-right light combo, and I dropped my hands and I said to him, "Are you okay?" Because he was on his feet. And you know, I'm not in there to hurt these guys, so it was real easy, simple fight. I couldn't hit him full blast or try to do any damage to him, and he could do that. The same thing with Todd Polton that we had about, what was it, 2 or 3 months ago? You know, circumstances where they could hit me as hard as they can, go after me, but I couldn't hit him at all.
How did you feel when you came up to Cesar Gracie's camp and you trained with Nick Diaz? How did you feel on the ground? Do you feel like you have a basic ground game, but do you feel comfortable? Do you feel like you could learn a lot from Nick and Nate Diaz?
Oh, I could definitely, yeah, I could definitely learn a lot. They taught me so much in a couple hours I was actually there with training with them. Just you know, the standard basics of not being taken down. And I think my strike game is pretty good, which they can help me a lot with. But I think the most important thing is getting experience, getting in there into proper training, some proper technique, some conditioning. I definitely need that conditioning to last. I think they're 3 rounds, 5-minute rounds, definitely. 3 5 minutes,
yeah, of course. And I'm not saying this to be insulting, but this is, I'll say you're not going to come in and be serious. But I can tell you, if Cesar Gracie says you're on his team and he's your guy, this guy's going to be ready to go. He's not going to be a joke. This isn't a camp where you go to be funny. This isn't a camp where you go to be like that. This is going to be a serious training camp. And, you know, Cesar's talked about already inviting you into the camp, I believe.
No, I agree. I saw their training when I was there, even before I started training with Nick and his brother, and they were really intense. They were really serious. I'm like, wow, this is great. I mean, I believe, you know, I'm 6'4", 250. I believe I still got some great physical years behind me. People have not seen anywhere close to what I can actually do. I mean, kicks and punching combinations. But I do need the actual training. I do need the actual experience. And number one thing, I've got to be healthy. Nothing much about it.
Last night I spoke with Herschel Walker, and I mentioned to him, would you like to fight Jose Canseco? What's your? I've heard these stories on the internet. I've heard these stories from people. Look, face to face, Herschel Walker, what do you want to do? And Herschel Walker said, a quote, "I will buy Jose Canseco a ticket to come to my house in Georgia and fight me in my backyard, but I will not fight him in a cage." What do you think of that?
It doesn't make any sense. I think the proper place we should fight is in a cage with millions of viewers. I don't know why he wants to fight in his backyard. It doesn't make any sense. What is he, Kimbo Slice now? Is he trying to mimic Kimbo Slice? Let's get in that ring. Let's get this thing going.
What I want to say to everybody who's watching this is, I think Mr. Canseco's got a great point here. Herschel Walker is the golden boy who's supposed to be the standard for everyone, and here he's saying, let's have a backyard brawl. And here's Mr. Canseco, the bad boy, who's saying, no, let's have a sanctioned fight in a cage with rules. And I think maybe that quote and this answer maybe turn that on its head. So when I was in here, sir, I saw a couple of plaques over here. Can you explain to us what those certificates are for?
Those are my black belt certificates. I've had them for, God, let me see, when I finally became a black belt was about 7, 8 years ago. After, what, 10, 13 years of training. So
that's excellent. Okay, is there anything you'd want to say to our viewers who are going to pick this up?
Let's make this fight happen. Herschel, what are you afraid of? You're not Kimbo Slice. Let's go out there and fight. We will be a perfect match for each other. Get out there.
You heard it here. Let's get this fight. Sign the petition. Sign the petition on the webpage. I'm going to take it to Scott Coker. I'm going to take it to Dana White. I'm going to take it to Mark Burnett. And they're going to have to turn me away at their door. I want this fight to happen, number one, as a fan, first before anything else. So let's get this fight, guys. What do we have to lose? It's the biggest fight ever with one of the greatest baseball players of all time, Mr. 40-40.
Give me a chance to prove what I can really do under the right training and being healthy.
Okay, that's it. Cool. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about real quick is